We're now taking you to breaking news. We've got the visuals you've got on the screen behind me. You can see the circle over here. Below the circle, the fire. These are the foresty hill areas of Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag district, where the operation to find terrorists has now entered its fifth day. These are, remember, the 2 or 3 terrorists that security forces believe are still hiding in this region since Wednesday, which was, remember, the day that a commanding officer of the 19th Rashtriya Rifles, Colonel Manpreet Singh, Major Ashish Dhonchak and the Deputy Superintendent of Jammu and Kashmir Police, Humayun Bhatt, and a soldier, they lost their lives in the operation. Now on Saturday, security forces launched a massive assault with mortar shells to flush out the terrorists responsible for the killings of the security personnel. My colleague Ishan is with us now to tell us more about the visuals we can see. Ishan, we shared with our audiences that drones and helicopters have both been pushed into service. The hope is that they'll help in tracking down the terrorists in this very, very hilly area that is filled with lush growth, which makes it very, very hard to spot movement. Can you bring our audiences more context, please?
Well, yes, this is exactly that area which you're seeing in this new drone footage, which has caught fire, which had caught fire earlier. There is no fire raging right now, but there was smoke blowing out of that area as we saw it from here. After we climbed up to this particular part, the video was pushed back, some kilometers since yesterday. We've been told to stay back. That part of that particular area has caught fire. And then operation is still going on. This is the difficult terrain because it's a V shape like this. It's the ball where these militants are hiding, and then it's covered by a dense forest cover. There are pine trees surrounding it, so it becomes difficult to see it face to face, and there is no place in which you can directly hit at the target or aim at the hideout that the forces are trying to clear. So you have to rely upon firing from different locations to that particular spot and then see through drones that where exactly they have hit and has the target been hit, because this is a massive hideout. Given the nature of the operation and the days it has taken, and despite rockets being fired, it didn't affect that hideout much. So this can give you an idea that how the operation has been going and how much strong that hideout was. That it could not be spotted from a naked eye. From here, you would not be able to see it. You will not be able to feel that if there is anybody lying there. So that is why these drones, quadcopters are in action, which are flying around that particular location, not only to zoom in through that cameras, that advanced cameras which are mounted on quadcopters, but also to detect the movement which are taking place near that area. What will happen because of the fire which is raging? One is that militants can burn to death, and second is that because of that particular fire that is raging there, they can come out. And when they come out, there's a possibility of the movement being detected, and then security forces can, aptly fire at that target. There are snipers put in place, there are sniffer dogs, there are drones, there are multiple use of technology that is taking place around the particular location. Not an easy operation for the security forces, given the fact that more than 100 hours have passed and this operation is still going on. Undoubtedly, this is one of the biggest operations that security forces have launched since many, many years in Kashmir, and in which lives like degraded 2 officers, including a colonel, a commander of 19RR, Rashtriya Rifles, a counterinsurgency force of the Indian Army, and then also Major and another young DYSP of J&K police who was leading the operation also lost his life in this particular encounter.
Okay.
Yes, forces have surrounded the area. They're trying their level best and see that when will they conclude this operation.
Ishan, I want to take to you now a question that some of our audience members are actually asking online. Obviously, because our viewers are coming in from across the country, if you could just explain to us, one of the most popular questions is, why isn't it possible to just flush the area with security officials, especially because this operation has now entered into its 5th day. What is the reason for that? Locationally, geographically, why is that not the option the security officers are going for?
Well, because on the very first day when they try to climb through that area, it's difficult. And second, that you could be spotted by the enemy from above. And whenever there's enemy, sitting above, he has an advantage of having the first move because he can look down on you and he can hit with precision. And the army does not know what sort of machinery, what sort of weaponry do these militants have. Do they have snipers? Do they have, other sophisticated equipment which can harm and hurt the army? Because already 3 casualties have been taken. 2 injured are still at the hospital. They are being treated. One of them is critical. So yes, army does not want to, go all in all guns blazing, because that is not how the army works. They are planning, they are strategizing, they are trying to see from which side they can attack and which sides the movement is being directed. So that is why going easy with the operation while minimizing the number of security forces who can suffer casualties, who can be injured in this particular attack, and then because already casualties in numbers have been suffered. That is why the army does not want any losses, so does the J&K police. And that is why the round-the-clock monitoring is done by the drone, which is keeping the forces safe and giving them that valuable input that they want.
Ishan, thank you. That context is so important. All right, we'll continue to cover this story through the day.